All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are talking about a true phenomenon. We're going to figure out just who Rudolph Valentino was, why he was Hollywood's first huge male sex symbol, and how he completely changed the game for what a leading man could be.
So picture this. August 1926. 100,000 people. That's how many flooded the streets of New York City. We're talking riots, smashed windows, people literally clashing with the police. What on earth could cause that kind of chaos?
You heard that right. All of that madness, all that turmoil, it was for one man. This was mass hysteria for a fallen movie star, Rudolph Valentino. He had just died, suddenly, from a perforated ulcer, and he was only 31 years old. So that's the big question here, isn't it? Who was this guy? And why did his life, and maybe more importantly, his death, cause such an insane public reaction that it literally brought a city to a standstill? You know, to really get a grip on Valentino, you have to picture what Hollywood was like before he showed up. The leading men back then, they were, rugged, tough, kind of stoic. Think cowboys and soldiers. Valentino, well, he was about to change all of that. His journey was not exactly an overnight success story. He was born Rodolfo Guglielmi in Italy and came to America with pretty much nothing. He even worked as a taxi dancer. Yeah, that means he was literally a paid dance partner before he finally got his big break in 1921. And it all came down to one single scene, a smoldering tango that just lit the fuse on his entire career. And that tango scene, man, it was a huge shift. For the first time, the camera just lingered on a male star in a way it never had before. It wasn't about his strength or how heroic he was. It was about his sensuality. The camera was inviting the audience to look at him, to desire him. And just like that, he created a brand new archetype, the Latin lover. He was basically everything the traditional American hero wasn't. He was exotic, he was openly sensual, and he was beautiful in a way that felt almost dangerous. He was a fantasy designed specifically to appeal to the female gaze. And boy, did this new archetype take off. When he was at his peak, with movies like The Sheik, his whole on-screen persona became a global sensation. So let's break down what the secret ingredients were here. What was the magic formula? I mean, it was the whole package, right? You had the slicked back hair, the perfectly groomed eyebrows, and of course that famous smoldering gaze that felt like it could see right through the screen. He even wore the slave bracelet his wife gave him, which just added to the whole mystique. For millions of women, he was this thrilling escape from their everyday lives. But, and this is a huge but, this is where the story gets really complicated. Because while women absolutely adored him, this new vision of masculinity was seen as a major threat by a lot of men. His popularity kicked off this massive cultural backlash. He basically created this massive split in the culture. The very things that made him so desired by women, his sensitivity, his exotic look, the fact that he cared about his appearance, were the exact same things that made other men mock him, call him effeminate, and see him as some kind of corrupting influence. And this was the most famous insult of them all. It was published in this really scathing editorial in the Chicago Tribune. The article was literally called Pink Powder Puffs, and it flat out questioned his manhood, accusing him of making the American male soft. You have to imagine what that does to a person. This whole public debate took a huge personal toll on Valentino. Think about it. You're one of the most desired men on the planet, but at the same time, you're constantly having your masculinity attacked in the press. It was the ultimate double-edged sword. His fame was built on the very same controversy that was hurting him so deeply. And then, right at the absolute peak of his fame and all this controversy, he was gone. His sudden death at 31 just cemented his status. The controversial man was gone, and in his place, a timeless myth was born. He became the original silver screen martyr. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How does a person, a movie star, turn into a cultural legend that people are still talking about 100 years later? Well, it turns out his life and death accidentally created the blueprint for the modern male sex symbol. It's a formula we've seen again and again. Step 1, become an object of desire, and specifically appeal to the female gaze. Step 2, use the controversy that creates to make the legend even bigger.
And the final, tragic step? Die young and achieve immortality.
When you boil it all down, this is his most lasting legacy. Rudolph Valentino proved to Hollywood that male sex appeal wasn't just some happy accident. It was a powerful and, more importantly, a bankable commodity. He taught the movie business that sometimes the most powerful thing a man can do on screen is just let himself be looked at. So yeah, his life was incredibly short, but his impact was monumental. He kicked open the door for a totally new kind of male star and a new kind of fan. He proved that for one brief, shining moment, the entire world really did belong to the Latin lover.